Good evening, ladies and gents. Hope you're all well. You join me on Cheapside. We're in sight of St Mary Le Bow and the Bow Bells. There is some kind of protest going on. I don't know what, but what we're here for is this building here, which hides a lost London church that was lost in the Great Fire of London and never rebuilt. St Peter Cheap, or St Peter West Cheap as it was also known. As I say, there was a church on this site since the year 1180, destroyed in the Great Fire and never rebuilt. This is a little evening tour for us of a lost London churchyard. Well, lost London church. Its churchyard continued to be used for a long time afterwards. A long time afterwards. This little churchyard here, which we're standing in, is also home to London's reputedly oldest tree, known as the Cheapside plane tree. If not the oldest, it is definitely one of the oldest trees in London. The experts have agreed on that at least. Seen many historic events over its couple of hundred or whatever years. I can't find anywhere exactly how old it is. They won't agree on exactly how old it is, but it is reputed to be London's oldest plane tree. So, what do you think of the history that's seen? 1712, John Bradford and Richard Garborough, church wardens, because although at this time the church was long gone, this was still its churchyard and an active burial ground. When the church was lost, the building that we walked past just there as we come down this way, it's an optician's now, but these were put up in its place. Erected at ye sole cost and charges of the parish of St Peter's Cheap, Anno Domini 1687, William Howard, churchwarden, and Jeremiah Taverner, also churchwarden. And these are some of its gravestones that remain. And you've got, in memory of John Stapler, who departed this life the 25th of March 1810, aged 2 years and 1 month, son of J and S Stapler of the It looks like Gove's House Inn, Wood Street, Cheapside. Also of William Stapler, uncle to the above, who departed this life the 30th of April 1810, aged 23 years. Also Charles Stapler, his brother, who departed this life the 19th of May 1810, aged 22 years. So they lost 2 children, one in April and one in May. And the young one as well. These ones are a bit worn, particularly at the top. It's a bit Mr. Rogers. Something, I can't really make out that one if I'm honest with you. And it's got the one below, Mr. Thomas Rogers of this parish, who died the 20th of November 1791, aged 78 years. Also of that looks like Adam Wicks Rogers, son of the above, who died the 24th of January 1816, aged 59 years. Also Mrs. Anne Rogers, wife of the above, who died the 7th of December 1816, aged 78 years. As I say, this is all that remains of this place now really is because it was a church. It was a church before, and as I say, they carried on using the churchyard for a long time afterwards, right into the 1800s. But the only image that exists of this as it was as a church, I'll take you back to in a sec, because this church played a pretty pivotal role. Cheapside would be the road that the coronations and everything, when the royals left the Tower, because they would stay the night at the Tower, when they left the Tower to make their way to Westminster Abbey, they'd make their way down Cheapside, and people would often get up onto the church to watch. And some playwrights would have their players get up on the church and put pageants on for the passing royal as well, for their amusement. So, very historical place we're in. And you see how high up it is raised off of the ground. We're about a foot up, and that's part of the London Burials Act, when every London churchyard was ordered to stop any further burials and to cover itself with a good foot or more of earth because of hygiene reasons. So yeah, that's St Peter Cheap, or St Peter West Cheap as you see it now, and I'll zip us back off into the past, so off we go. And here you see Cheapside in 1639 with the Cheapside Cross, one of the many what's known as Eleanor crosses set up by the devastated king in memory of his beloved wife. Wherever the funeral procession stopped on the way back to London, he raised a cross to her memory. And this image here, 1639, and it's part of the procession of the Queen Mother, Mary de Medici, when she visits her son and daughter-in-law, King Charles II and Queen Henrietta Maria. So you're looking at Cheapside as it was back then, and with the blue arrow points out our church. There's St Peter Cheap. And our next image here shows the crenellated front of the church, also pointed out with a blue arrow. Same image as the previous one, but if you look where the arrow is, you can see the front of the church poking through in between all the other buildings. And these little buildings all tucked together and loaded together like this shows you how easily the Great Fire of London spread. And now for our last little look into the past, we have to go to another church, and one that's still very much around today, thank goodness. So join me for that. And here we are on this 1616 panoramic of London in the Church of All Hallows by the Tower. And there is St Peter's Cheap. So that's one of our little lost London churches. Hope you've all enjoyed, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching.